Welcome to the Explainer. If you're a cat parent, you already know the absolute joy of a warm cat curled up in your lap, right? I mean, the sound of that deep, rumbling purr, the endless entertainment of watching them chase a feather wand around the living room, it's just the best. And because we love these little house panthers so much, we all share the exact same ultimate dream, keeping our cats around, healthy and happy for as long as humanly possible. So today, let's look at the hard data and expert veterinary guidelines to see if we can essentially reverse engineer feline longevity. Together, we're going to explore the lifestyle, the medical, and the environmental factors that can drastically extend your cat's life.
Okay, let's dive into this. It's literally the oldest myth in the book. We've all heard that cats have 9 lives. And hey, it's a super fun idea that speaks to their incredible agility and their knack for getting out of tricky situations. But as dedicated pet parents who actually follow the science, we kind of have to look past the folklore here. The reality is they only get 1 life, just one. And it is entirely up to us to make sure they live it to the absolute fullest.
So the average lifespan of a domestic cat is about 12 years. Now, you might be thinking, well, that sounds a little brief, but here is a fantastic piece of data for you. Over the past 4 decades, cat life expectancy has actually skyrocketed. Get this, back in 1984, the average was only 7 years. So we are making huge progress. And if you need a little inspiration for what's actually biologically possible, the oldest recorded cat in history was a tabby mix named Cream Puff who lived to be a staggering 38 years old. No way, right? While 38 might be an extreme outlier, it absolutely proves that with the right care, 20 years or more is completely within the realm of possibility.
Now, to really understand how to care for our cats as they age, we have to ground our medical data in a biological clock that we can actually relate to. And the conversion isn't just some simple multiplier. Your cat's first year of life is roughly equivalent to 15 human years. Boom, they're a teenager right away. Their second year adds about 9 more, putting a 2-year-old cat at about 24 in human years. After that, every additional cat year equals about 4 human years. And this matters immensely because it shifts our entire perspective. When your cat reaches 7 to 10 years old, they are considered a senior. That's roughly 44 to 56 in human years. Think about it. You wouldn't treat a 50-year-old human in the exact same way you treat a teenager, right? Your cat's preventative care needs to evolve in the exact same way.
So, how do we actually maximize that one precious feline life? Here is our actionable blueprint for today's explainer. We'll quickly cover how long cats live, compare indoor versus outdoor living, set up a proactive health and wellness foundation, establish the 5 environmental pillars, and finally, look at play and social interaction.
All right, Section 1, indoor versus outdoor living. This is the biggest lifespan indicator.
And this brilliantly illustrates the point. The reality here is stark, guys. Indoor cats live an average of 13 to 17 years, while outdoor cats live just 2 to 5 years. That is a massive, undeniable disparity. By keeping your cat indoors, you are instantly protecting them from the most common fatal hazards out there: cars, fights with other animals, harsh weather, and communicable diseases. Plus, indoor cats just generally receive far more consistent veterinary care and balanced diets. Now, if you really want your cat to experience the great outdoors, the data heavily suggests doing it safely through supervised outings, using a leash and a harness, rather than just letting them roam freely.
Moving right along to Section 2, proactive health and wellness. Let's set that medical foundation. When we look at building a medical foundation, we kind of have to start with genetics. Certain breeds just naturally live longer. Siamese, Burmese, and Persians boast lifespans of 15 to 20 years, while your larger breeds, like the Maine Coon, average around 10 to 13 years. But here is a truly fascinating takeaway for most of us pet parents. Mixed breed cats generally outlive purebreds. Because mixed breeds have a much larger, more diverse gene pool, their risk of inheriting breed-specific genetic diseases drops significantly. It's a huge biological advantage. But regardless of their genetics, this checklist right here is your medical baseline. First off, spaying or neutering is absolutely crucial. Not only does it reduce the risk of certain reproductive issues, like mammary cancer, but it also curbs that urge for territorial roaming, keeping them safely away from diseases like feline leukemia virus, or FELV, and feline immunodeficiency virus, FIV. Combine that with a solid vet-recommended diet, year-round parasite prevention, and routine checkups, and you've effectively controlled the major physical variables. But as you'll see, physical health is only half the battle.
Which brings us to Section 3, the 5 environmental pillars. Time to build a true feline sanctuary.
So the crucial point is that a cat's environment is intimately, deeply linked to their physical health. A stressful environment can actually manifest as severe physical conditions. We're talking stress over grooming, where they literally create bald spots on themselves, or feline lower urinary tract disease. To combat this, veterinary experts have established a rule of five, the 5 pillars of a healthy feline environment. Provide a safe place, separate key resources, encourage play, maintain predictable interaction, and respect their sense of smell. Let's break down how this builds a perfectly engineered space for your cat.
Pillar 1 is all about providing a safe retreat. Cats absolutely need private locations where they can go to completely decompress, totally undisturbed. Often, they prefer these spaces to be raised off the ground so they can survey their kingdom. Now, if you have a multi-cat household, listen up because this is vital. You must have at least as many safe spaces as you have cats, and ideally, these spaces should have multiple entry and exit points so no one ever feels cornered or trapped by a grumpy roommate.
Pillar 2 is separated resources. And honestly, this is where a lot of really well-meaning pet parents get it wrong. Cats need their food, water, litter boxes, and resting areas distinctly separated. I mean, think about it. You wouldn't want to eat your dinner right next to your toilet, right? Well, neither does your cat. Keep that food bowl far away from the litter box. And again, in multi-cat households, the golden rule is abundance. You need at least 2 options for every single resource, spread out across the home, to prevent any sort of resource guarding and anxiety.
Actually, we're going to jump straight to Pillar 5 to wrap up the physical environment, just because this is so often entirely overlooked, their sense of smell. Cats have an incredibly, remarkably sensitive nose. Strong household cleansers can be totally overwhelming for them. But what's truly wild is that even just wearing your outdoor shoes inside the house can track in unfamiliar, highly stressful scents. To help them feel at home, provide plenty of scratching posts. When a cat scratches, they aren't just sharpening their claws, they're actually rubbing their faces and paws to disperse their own comforting pheromones all throughout their territory. It's like they're leaving little "I feel safe here" sticky notes everywhere.
All right, Section 4, play and social interaction, fulfilling those feline instincts. Now that their physical space is perfectly set, we have to fulfill that inner hunter. An indoor cat might not need to hunt for actual survival, but that instinct, it is still hardwired right into their brain. Experts recommend 30 minutes of daily interactive play. Using wand toys or food puzzles gives them a dedicated outlet for that predatory energy, keeping them sharp and physically fit. Oh, and just a quick safety reminder from the experts, always put away toys with strings once playtime is over so they don't accidentally swallow them.
When it comes to social interaction, what's really interesting about this slide is that cats actually prefer frequent but low-intensity interactions, and they should always be the ones to initiate. Don't scoop them up and force them into a hug if they aren't feeling it. Instead, look for these telltale signs that they are comfortable and ready to bond. Slow blinking at you from across the room, purring, giving you a little headbutt, or headbutting as it's officially called, climbing into your lap, or rolling over to show their belly. When they do this on their own terms, you know for sure you've successfully created a low-stress, highly bonded environment.
We've covered a ton of ground today, from the stark reality of indoor living to the daily requirement of predatory play. But honestly, it all comes down to this single question. Are you just keeping your cat alive, or are you actively helping them thrive? Take a look around your home today. Count those safe spaces. Check the distance between the food bowl and the litter box. Pull out that wand toy for 30 minutes tonight. You now have the ultimate blueprint to maximize your cat's longevity. And by auditing your home against these 5 pillars, you have the power to ensure that their one single life is as long, healthy, and happy as it can possibly be. So, what is one thing you can change in your cat's environment today?